Hare Krishna. Sure, you want me to sing it? You sing it also, sweetly.
We would really appreciate if you could sing for us, Mr. Krishna, to start us off. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Giribardhari Jaya
Gopi Janavalabha Giribardhari.
Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Giribardhari Jaya Giribardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Too high.
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Nitai Gora Haribol, 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 Nitai Gora.
Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astottasara Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Srila Prabhupada
Ki
Ki,
Jai,
ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki,
Jai,
Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astottasara Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, ISKCON Guru Vrinda Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki, Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki, Shri Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki, Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki, Ganga Mai Ki, Yamuna Mai Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Tulasi Devi Ki, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai. So devotees, today I hope you're ready for an action-filled pastime. Something that you'll never find in the movies or Netflix. So, grab hold to your seat. Before we recite this pastime from Krishna book, we'd like to just offer our praise to our spiritual master before we begin. Om Jnana Timirandasya Kinanjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vas Adi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from the Krishna book, chapter 36, Kamsa sends Akrura for Krishna. So this pastime is split into two parts. First, we're reading about Aristasura, the bull demon, and then we will read more about Akrura. Vrindavan was always absorbed in the thought of Krishna. Everyone remembered his pastimes and was constantly merged in the ocean of transcendental bliss. But the material world is so contaminated that even in Vrindavan, the asuras or demons try to disturb the peaceful situation. Once a demon named Aristasura entered the village in the form of a great bull with a gigantic body and huge horns, digging up the earth with his hooves. When the demon entered Vrindavan, the whole land appeared to tremble as if there were an earthquake. He roared fiercely, and after digging up the earth of the riverside, he entered the village proper. The fearful roaring of the bull was so piercing that some of the pregnant cows and women had miscarriages. Its body was so big, stout, and strong that a cloud hovered over its body, just as clouds hover over mountains. Aristasura entered Vrindavan with such a fearful appearance that just on seeing this great demon, all the men and women were afflicted with great fear, and the cows and other animals fled the village. The situation became very terrible, and all the inhabitants of Vrindavan began to cry, "Krishna, Krishna, please save us! Everyone, please save us!" Krishna saw that the cows were running away, and he immediately replied, "Don't be afraid, don't be afraid." He then appeared before Aristasura and said, "You lowest of living entities, why are you frightening the inhabitants of Gokula? What will you gain by this action? If you have come to challenge my authority, then I am prepared to fight you." In this way, Krishna challenged the demon, and the demon became very angry by the words of Krishna. Krishna stood before the bull, resting his hand on the shoulder of a friend. The bull proceeded toward Krishna in anger. Digging the earth with his hooves, Aristasura lifted his tail, and appeared that clouds were hovering about the tail. His eyes were reddish and moving in anger. Pointing his horns at Krishna, he charged him just like the thunderbolt of Indra. But Krishna immediately caught his horns and tossed him away, just as a gigantic elephant repels a small inimical elephant. Although the demon was perspiring and appeared very tired, he took courage and got up. Again, he charged Krishna with great force and anger. While rushing toward Krishna, he breathed very heavily. Krishna again caught his horns and immediately threw him to the ground, breaking his horns. Krishna then began to kick his body, just as one squeezes a wet cloth on the ground. Being thus kicked by Krishna, Aristasura rolled over and began to move his legs violently. Bleeding from the mouth and passing stool and urine, his eyes starting from their sockets, he passed to the kingdom of death. The demigods in celestial planets showered flowers on Krishna for his wonderful achievement. Krishna was already the life and soul of the inhabitants of Vrindavan, and after killing this demon in the shape of a bull, he became the cynosure of all eyes. With Balaram, he triumphantly entered Vrindavan village, and the inhabitants glorified him and Balaram with great jubilation. When a person performs some wonderful feat, his kinsmen and relatives and friends become naturally jubilant. So this is the pastime of Aristasura. Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives a breakdown of what anarthas these demons represent in us, and Aristasura represents the pride in false religion, and it's actually Aristasura was a Brahmana disciple of Brihaspati, and this Brahmana was sitting in front of his guru with his legs stretched out, and Brihaspati got a little disturbed because he said, this is not culture, and he cursed this Brahmana disciple to become a bull, and this bull then took birth in a place near Bangladesh and had association with other bulls, and in this way became very demoniac. And just to give you some background from what I've heard from Gauranga Darshan Prabhu on this pastime, that Kamsa would actually go to the different demons and challenge them. And Aristasura was defeated by Kamsa, and in that way Kamsa befriended Aristasura to try to kill the 8th son of Devaki. If we've been following Krishna book, we know that this prediction of the 8th son of Devaki is Kamsa's constant meditation. So to go back to this false pride in religion, it also shows when listening to this class, I understood that this false pride in religion also means when we practice service to God with motivation. I know Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj uses this a lot. Give me a big house, BMW, and color TV. Om Jai Jagadisha Hare. So when we engage in service to God, it shouldn't. It stated in Nectar of Devotion that it should be unmotivated and uninterrupted, and the only way in which we can actually achieve this is by remembering Krishna. So the other amazing part of this pastime is that from this killing of the bull, there's some really wonderful conversations that have happened between Krishna and the gopis, which I'd like to read. Srila Prabhupada, actually in the 10th canto, chapter 36, verse 16 purport, Prabhupada shares something from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has quoted 20 verses describing a joking conversation between Radha and Krishna that took place after Krishna had killed the demon Arista. This conversation, so kindly quoted by the Acharya, describes the origin of Radha Kund and Shama Kund, Radha's and Krishna's bathing ponds. So before I read this, we also celebrated the appearance of Radha Kund on Tuesday along with Hanuman Jayanti. So I thought this is really special to share. The innocent young gopi said, "Ah, Krishna, don't touch us now, O killer of a bull. Alas, even though Arista was a terrible demon, still he was a male cow. So you will have to undergo atonement, just as Lord Indra after killing Vritasura. But how can you purify yourself without going to the trouble of visiting every single holy place in the 3 worlds?" Krishna replied, "Why should I have to wander throughout the entire universe? I will at once bring all the countless pilgrimage places here and take my bath in them. Just watch." With this, Lord Mukunda struck his heel on the ground. Then he said, "This is the water of the Bhagavati river coming from the Patala region. And now, O holy places, all of you, please come here." When the Supreme Lord had spoken these words, all the holy places went there and appeared before him. Krishna then addressed the gopis as follows: "See all the holy places?" But the gopis replied, "Well, we don't see them as you describe." Then those best of holy places, joining their palms in supplication, spoke up: "I am the salt ocean. I am the ocean of milk. I am the Amara Dirika. I am the river Sona. I am the Sindur. I am the Tamramparni. I am the holy place Pushkara. I am the river Saraswati, and we are the Godavari, Jamuna, Reva rivers and the confluence of rivers at Prayag. Just see our waters. After purifying himself by bathing, Lord Hari became quite arrogant and said, I have produced a pond containing all various holy places, whereas you gopis must have never executed any religious duties on this earth for the pleasure of Lord Brahma. Remember, this is a joking conversation, so this is banter between the gopis and Krishna. Then Srimati Radharani addressed her girlfriends as follows. I must create an even more beautiful pond, so go to work. Having heard these words, the gopis saw that Aristasura's hooves had dug a shallow ditch just west of Sri Krishna's pond. At that nearby spot, all the gopis began digging up lumps of soft mud with their hands, and in this way a divine pond manifested in the short span of an hour. Krishna was astonished to see the lake they produced. He said, Go ahead, O lotus-eyed one. You and your companions should fill this pond with water from mine. But Radha replied, No. This is impossible, since the water of your pond is contaminated by your terrible sin of killing a cow. I will have my countless gopis companions bring the pure water from the Manasi Ganga here in billions of pots. In this way, I will fill this lake with my own water, and thus make its renown unequaled in the entire world. Lord Krishna then gestured to a heavenly personality who was an intimate associate of the holy places. Suddenly, that person rose up out of Krishna's pond and bowed to the daughter of Sri Vrishabhanu, Radharani. Then, with palms joined and tears pouring from his eyes, he began praying to her in devotion. O goddess, even Lord Brahma himself, the knower of all scriptures, cannot understand your glories, nor can Lord Shiva or Lakshmi. Only Krishna, the supreme goal of all human endeavor, can understand them, and thus he feels obliged to personally make sure that you can wash away your perspiration when you are fatigued. He is always anointing your lotus feet with nectarian charu and yavaka, and decorating them with ankle bells, and he rejoices and feels most fortunate simply by satisfying the tips of your lotus feet. On his order, we immediately come here to live in the most excellent pond, which he created by one stroke of his heel. But only if you now feel satisfied with us, bestow upon us your merciful glance, will the tree of our desire bear fruit. Hearing this prayer spoken by the representative of the full assembly of the holy places, Sri Radha was pleased. So kindly tell me your desire. They then told her plainly, our lives would be successful if we could come to your pond. That is the benediction we desire. Glancing at her beloved from the corners of her eyes, the daughter of Vrishabhanu replied with a smile, Please come. Her gopi companions all agreed with her decision and became immersed in the ocean of happiness. Indeed, the beauty of all creatures, both mobile and stationary, was enhanced. Thus, gaining the grace and glance of Srimati Radharani, the holy rivers and lakes in the Sri Krishna Kund forcibly broke through its boundary walls and swiftly filled Radha Kund with their waters. Lord Hari then said, My dear Radha, may this pond of yours become even more world-renowned than mine. I will always come here to bathe and to enjoy my water pastimes. Indeed, this lake is as dear to me as you are. And Radha replied, I will come to bathe in your pond as well, even though you may kill hundreds of Arista demons here, in the future, anyone who has intense devotion for this lake, which is on the spot where you chastise Aristasura, and who bathes or resides here, is sure to become very dear to me. Bhaktivedanta purports ki jai. So that was shared by Srila Prabhupada, quoting Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur of the appearance of Radha Kund and Shama Kund. And then it's also said, so in the previous verse, Srila Prabhupada says that Lord Krishna can be hard as a thunderbolt or soft as a rose, depending on our attitude toward him. So we can see this between the exchange of the demon as well as with the gopis. You can feel that loving reciprocation to the gopis in this way. So we'll continue with the pastime. Now Narad Muni will meet Kamsa. It was after this incident that the great sage Narada disclosed to Kamsa the secret of Krishna. Narad Muni is generally known as Deva Darshana, which means that he can only be seen by demigods or persons on the same level with demigods. But Narada visited Kamsa, who is not at all on the level of demigods, and allowed Kamsa to see him. Of course, Kamsa only saw Krishna. What to speak of Narad Muni? Kamsa also saw Krishna. What to speak of Narad Muni? But unless one sees the Lord or his devotees with purified eyes, one cannot derive the actual benefit. Of course, anyone who associates with a pure devotee derives imperceptible benefit, which is called agyata sukriti. One cannot understand how he is making progress, yet he makes progress by seeing the devotee of the Lord. Narad Muni's mission was to finish things quickly. Krishna appeared in order to kill the demons, and Kamsa was the chief among them. Narada wanted to expedite things. Therefore, he immediately approached Kamsa with all the real information. So here I just wanted to pause. Narad Muni, coming to Kamsa in this way, in the purport of the corresponding chapter in Srimad Bhagavatam, it said that, just trying to find my notes here. So Narad Muni understood that the killing of Aristasura was concluding Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. So therefore, Narad Muni was anxious to now facilitate the transfer of Krishna's pastimes to Mathura. So Narad Muni then says, "You are to be killed by the 8th son of Vasudev. Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai." You are to be killed by the 8th son of Vasudev, Narad told Kamsa. The 8th son is Krishna. You are misled by Vasudev into believing that the 8th issue of Vasudev was a daughter. Actually, the daughter was born to Yashoda, the wife of Nanda Maharaj. Plot twist. And Vasudev exchanged his son for the daughter. So you are misled. Krishna is the son of Vasudev, as is Balaram. After being afraid of your atrocious nature, Vasudev has tactfully hidden them in Vrindavan, out of your sight. Narada further informed Kamsa, Krishna and Balaram have been living in incognito in the care of Nanda Maharaj, and the Asuras, your companions, who were sent to Vrindavan to kill different children, were killed by Krishna and Balaram. As soon as Kamsa got this information from Narad Muni, he took out his sharp sword and prepared to kill Vasudev for his duplicity. But Narada pacified him. You are not to be killed by Vasudev, he said. Why are you so anxious to kill him? Better try to kill Krishna and Balaram. But in order to satisfy his wrath, Kamsa arrested Vasudeva and his wife and shackled them in iron chains, acting on the new information. Kamsa immediately called for Keshi demon and asked him to go to Vrindavan to kill Balaram and Krishna. In actuality, Kamsa asked Keshi to go to Vrindavan to be killed by Krishna and Balaram and thus get salvation. Then Kamsa called for his expert elephant trainers as well as for wrestlers Chanura, Mustika, Sala, Toshala, etc. And he told them, "My dear friends, try to hear me attentively. At Nanda Maharaja's palace in Vrindavan, there are two brothers, Krishna and Balaram. They are actually two sons of Vasudeva. As you know, I have been destined to be killed by Krishna. There is a prophecy to this effect. Now, I am requesting you to arrange a wrestling match. People from different parts of the country will come to see this festival. I will arrange to get those two boys here, and you will try to kill them in the wrestling arena." So I'd like to just point out to this beautiful painting to my right hand side, where Krishna is actually wrestling with Kamsa and his associates. But the one point I wanted to share, Kamsa said that he wants us to be a festival. So the point that was made in the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam is that Kamsa wanted to, wanted Krishna and Balaram to be excited when they're coming, and it's not just like, entering their death. So you can see in this picture, it's quite detailed, but you can see there's like some decorations. Like when we have festivals, we have those those banners, and it looks very beautiful. So you can see this wrestling arena has really been made to look like a festival. So in the Krishna book it further explains, wrestling matches are still enjoyed by people in northern India, and it appears from the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam that 5,000 years ago wrestling was also popular. Kamsa planned to arrange a wrestling competition and to invite people to visit. He also told the trainers of the elephants, "Be sure to bring the elephant named Kuvalya Pida and keep him at the gate of the wrestling arena. Try to capture Krishna and Balaram on their arrival and have the elephant kill him." Kamsa also advised his friends to arrange the worship to Lord Shiva by offering animal sacrifices, performing the sacrifice called Dhanur Yagya, and the sacrifice performed on the 14th day of the moon known as Dasi. This date falls 3 days after Ekadasi, and it is set aside for the worship of Lord Shiva. One of the plenary portions of Lord Shiva is called Kala Bhairava. This form of Lord Shiva is worshipped by the demons who offer animals killed before him. The process is still current in India in a place called Vaidyanatha Dhamma, where demons offer animal sacrifices to the deity of Kala Bhairava. Kamsa belonged to this demoniac group. He was also an expert diplomat, and he also quickly arranged for his demon friends to kill Krishna and Balaram. So I just wanted to share, when a battle is about to begin, there's always some strategy, whether it's wars between countries or even a local gang. They always have some strategy. So here we can see Kamsa's mind about how he really wants to kill Krishna and Balaram. He's getting the elephant at the entrance, and he's wrestling friends together, and he really wants to create a good strategy to defeat Krishna and Balaram. So then he called for Akrura, one of the descendants in the family of Yadu, in which Krishna was born as a son of Vasudeva. When Akrura came to see Kamsa, Kamsa very politely shook hands with him and said, "My dear Akrura, actually I have no better friend than you in the Bhoga and Yadu dynasties. You are the most magnificent person, so as a friend I am begging charity from you. Actually, I have taken shelter of you exactly as King Indra takes shelter of Lord Vishnu. I request you to immediately go to Vrindavan and find the two boys named Krishna and Balaram. They are the sons of Nanda Maharaj. Take this nice chariot, especially prepared for the boys, and bring them here immediately. That is my request to you. Now, my plan is to kill these two boys. As soon as they come in the gate, there will be a giant elephant named Kuvalyapida waiting, and possibly he will be able to kill them. But if somehow or other they escape, they will meet the wrestlers and will be killed by them. That is my plan. After killing these two boys, I shall kill Vasudeva and Nanda, who are the supporters of the Vrishni and Bhoja dynasties. I shall also kill my father, Ugrasena, and his brother Devaka, because they are actually my enemies and are my hindrances to my democracy and politics. Thus, I shall get rid of all my enemies. Jarasandha is my father-in-law, and I have a great monkey friend named Dvida. With their help, it will be easy to kill the kings on the surface of the earth who support the demigods. This is my plan. In this way, I shall be free from the opposition, and it will be very pleasant to rule the world without obstruction. You may also know that Sambara, Narakasura, and Banasura are my intimate friends, and when I begin this war against the kings who support the demigods, they will help me considerably. Surely I shall be rid of all my enemies. Please go immediately to Vrindavan and encourage the boys to come here to see the beauty of Mathura and take pleasure in the wrestling competition. After hearing this plan, after hearing this plan of Kamsa, Akrura replied, "My dear king, your plan is very excellently made to counteract the hindrances of your diplomatic activities. But you should maintain equilibrium, for the result of your activities may be fruitful or may not be fruitful. After all, man proposes and God disposes. We may make very great plans, but unless they are sanctioned by the supreme authority, they will fail. Everyone in this material world knows that the supernatural power is the ultimate disposer of everything. One may make a very great plan with his fertile brain, but he must know that he will be subjected to the fruits, misery, and happiness. But I have nothing to say against your proposal. As a friend, I shall carry out your order and bring Krishna and Balaram here as you desire." After instructing his friends in various ways, Kamsa retired and Akrura went back to his home. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 36th chapter of Krishna. Kamsa sends Akrura for Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So one point here is that Kamsa actually prepared a new chariot for Akrura to use to bring Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada elaborates on this, that there's two ways of looking at it. One is Kamsa wanted to convince Akrura to bring Krishna and Balaram by preparing this beautiful chariot, so it convinces Akrura to bring Krishna and Balaram. But on the flip side, this new chariot was prepared so that Krishna and Balaram didn't have that association with Kamsa's used chariot. So I thought that was a nice point to highlight. And we will get to know Akrura's position a lot more as we progress in the Krishna book. I think it goes to like chapter 44, where we will see Akrura's prayers, and then leading to Kamsa being killed by Krishna and Balaram. So a few points that have come up while trying to meditate on what to present. yesterday we actually had a bit of a negative experience when we went to Bangladesh market on Food for Life, and we met this very strong character, and he was very against what we were doing, and I somehow said something, but we paid respects at the end to each other. But when I spoke to my dad about this, he reminded me, or he shared a pastime of Srila Prabhupada, which there's a series of Prabhupada's qualities, the 26 qualities of a Vaishnav, and there's a series where each quality is expanded. And this quality my dad shared with me was Prabhupada being meek. And to just give some context, we're always ready to dish out, to someone who criticizes us, or we're always ready to defend. But this pastime really it touched my heart when I heard it. So it is shared by Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and it was based in June 1968 in Canada, where Srila Prabhupada was giving an outreach class to an all-girls, I think it was a Catholic school, and the school was, they had nuns, and they were very deep rooted in their beliefs. So after Prabhupada had finished his class, Prabhupada asked if there were any questions, and there was someone from Prabhupada's entourage, Mr. Mukherjee, who stood up and attacked Srila Prabhupada, asking him, why are you preaching in the West? Why are you trying to, change the beliefs of, Christians? And, he was very, very harsh on Prabhupada. And Prabhupada did not say anything. He just was silent. And after this incident, it was described that it was extremely, I won't say humiliating, but we have a school full of nuns, and they're not criticizing Srila Prabhupada, but someone from Prabhupada's, when you enter with the Swami, he was one of them, one of his entourage. So after some time, I think it was in August, Srila Prabhupada asked Gopal Krishna Maharaj to call Mr. Mukherjee to his room, and Maharaj asked Srila Prabhupada, why would you want to see this person again? And Srila Prabhupada said, maybe I did something to him in my previous life, of which he is taking revenge. And Srila Prabhupada called this person to his room and gave him full blessings, for something so deep to happen, for Prabhupada to just give him blessings. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj said that, the lesson we learn here is not to retaliate when someone criticizes us, and to learn this practice of Trinadabi Sunichina. So I thought that was a really nice point to put across, especially, reading about the demons, and it's so easy to get affected by demoniac nature, whether it's ours or someone else's. We all have anarthas that we're trying to get rid of, but seeing Prabhupada's reaction to this was really profound. And then the other thing we read recently in Srimad Bhagavatam this week, this is from, the connection here is how to become more Krishna conscious, and how to get rid of these anarthas. So like I mentioned at the start, these demons represent different anarthas in our life. So here we can say Aristasura is representing the false pride in religion. So the solution to this is by remembering Krishna. We can see even Kamsa, by remembering Krishna, Krishna came to him, and we'll read more about Kamsa later on. But this constant thought of remembering Krishna is so powerful. But it is stated in the purport of the 10th canto, chapter 87, verse 23, Lord Krishna states in the Gopal Tapani Upanishad, and this is Uttara 4, by remembering me, one who is impure becomes pure. By remembering me, one who follows no vows becomes a strict follower of vows. By remembering me, one who is desireless develops desire to serve me. By remembering me, one who has studied no Vedic mantras becomes an expert in the knower of the Vedas. So just by remembering Krishna, we can see how the impure can become pure. And we can see this in Srila Prabhupada's execution of Krishna consciousness, of the Sankirtan movement, turning hippies into happies. I mean, even if I look at myself, with all the things that I've done in my life, just by practicing Krishna consciousness, there's some hope of becoming pure through this process. So I thought that was a really nice point from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And, to take it back, I mean, it was such a beautiful pastime of Aristasura, leading to the appearance of Radhakund and Shamakund. I know this was shared a lot on social media, but I thought I would share this just as an inspiration for myself and for anyone who would, who listens to this. So there's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, Radhakund Dasi, and I'll just try to paraphrase it and then read more of her dream. But basically, she was distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, ever since she joined Krishna consciousness. She said, when I had cancer, it went away by just distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. She had a problem with the husband. She just continued distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, and all her problems went away. But when she started living in Vrindavan, she started listening to a Radhakund Babaji. And by a show of hands, who has been to Radhakund? And you would know that when you're at Radhakund, there's a lot of, are they called pandas? And it's a very beautiful place, but can be extremely overwhelming sometimes with the amount of different pilgrims and availability to different learned devotees of Krishna. So here, Radhakund Dasi was listening to this Radhakund Babaji, and she felt inspired by him, and she used to come to Radhakund every day, and he would give her a special mantra, and he said Srimati Radharani will shower her mercy upon you. And so Radhakund Dasi felt that she was really getting deep into this Radhakund Seva or Srimati Radharani Seva. And because of this, she stopped distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. And she says she then had received some amazing mercy as Srila Prabhupada came into her dream. And Srila Prabhupada had given her a very stern look and took her hand and said, "Let's go." And I'll just read her experience of her dream with Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada took me out of Krishna Balaram Mandir and out of Vrindavan to Govardhan and Radhakund. Still holding my hand, Prabhupada led me into the waters of Radhakund and down to the bottom, to the very heart of Radhakund, where I received a vision. Srila Prabhupada was standing at a huge table. On the table, there were millions of his books in different languages, and there were millions of groaning, suffering souls with their hands outstretched and shouting, "Me, me!" Srila Prabhupada was standing and single-handedly distributing hundreds and thousands of his books, and everyone who received one stopped moaning, took a spiritual form, and left this world. In the dream, I was standing there looking at all of this, getting goosebumps and shaking. Then Srila Prabhupada gave me another stern look. How long will you stand there? When will you help or start helping me distribute books? How can you not realize that distributing my books is the very heart of Radha Kund? This is the heart of Srimati Radharani. Sorry. This is what the heart of Srimati Radharani lives for. If you want to receive Srimati Radharani's mercy, distribute my books until your last breath. I woke up all in tears. I didn't go to Radha Kund again, and I didn't repeat this mantra again. I just decided that for the rest of my life, until my last breath, I will distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. Transcendental book distribution ki jai. So we can see here, we're really blessed to have His Grace Vijay Prabhu visit Durban for the last few days, and he really gave us some really wonderful inspiration in distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. So the first thing is we should always read Srila Prabhupada's books, develop a deeper taste, and with that it'll overflow and it'll help us to spread the Krishna consciousness movement through book distribution. So I'd like to end here. Are there any questions, corrections, my seniors, any mistakes I may have made?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I was listening to your class online, so in the beginning of your class, you spoke about the process in which Krishna destroyed the personification of pride in false religion. Got me thinking that, because I don't remember where, but I think it was in Cape Town, and I heard that this class giver was saying that the one thing that devotees of Krishna can take pride in is that they're proud to be Krishna's devotees, right? And he said that's how we can also purify our pride, because there's somebody that asked a question of these pride and lust and all that, are they there in the spiritual world? Because no, devotees take pride in being devotees of Krishna. There's different ways of how you can use anything. So I thought, is it possible then for like myself, a neophyte, to have false pride in a true religion like Krishna consciousness? Like obviously we have pride within ourselves, and I'm so proud of my Madanga playing, I'm so proud of my class giving, I'm so proud of my cooking. Is that being proud that you're Krishna's devotee? Is that still pure, or is that like something that's not wanted by Krishna?
So
My question is kind of all over the place, so sorry.
Yeah. So I'll try my best to answer, but I'll lean on my seniors in the room to help me out as well. So from my understanding, so you're asking, to be proud of what you do in Krishna consciousness, like, is that...
No, is it wrong? Is it displeasing to Krishna?
Is it motivated? I think that's the point of Aristasura's pastime. Is it motivated? So are we having some motivation to do something? Am I sitting on this Vyasa sun to get glorified? So I think, there's sincerity in how we offer our, practice in Krishna consciousness. False ego is there, and we're not purified as yet. We're still in the process of getting purified. So naturally, it does pop up. But from what I read in the Srimad Bhagavatam purport, by remembering me, one who is impure becomes pure. So this process of Krishna consciousness will purify us eventually. But Smita Krishna Prabhu, would you like to share anything around this that's a little more deeper?
You're asking the right person, because I'm very proud. So I can give you some personal realization about pride. Well, pride is what brings us to this world. If it's under illusion that we think we are the Lord, the Creator and Lord of all that we survey, then Krishna sends us here because of our false ego, thinking that we can replace Krishna. So that's the essential reason why we're in this world. And then that extends to so many things in this world. Pride about our prestige, power, wealth, achievements, all of that. And that's under illusion or false pride. But then to have a sense that we are in Krishna consciousness, and then that's not pride, but we meditate on our good fortune. We should be thinking this is our good fortune, and that we are so insignificant, yet we receive this good fortune. So in that way we'll be able to meditate on our good fortune, but at the same time remember that we are so insignificant. That'll keep us from developing arrogance in Krishna consciousness, where one thinks he is better than all of the other population who's not practicing Krishna consciousness, and oh, I'm better than that person. When we advance in Krishna consciousness, then we start to realize, actually I'm not any significance, and that it's all by the mercy of Krishna consciousness that we have come. The humility also doesn't mean thinking less of oneself. Humility means just thinking of yourself less. That's what will keep you from being proud. So it doesn't mean that we have to develop some poor self-esteem by being humble. But at the same time, by being in Krishna consciousness, we should not have this pride which is aligned with arrogance. There's a difference. It's like that. We're just happy and we feel fortunate. That is the area of the pride in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Mata. Can you hear me? Okay. So, okay. You mind if I expand on this? So, let's go a bit deeper into this. So, then what is true religion? Like, because there's so many religions in the world, right? And I was having an interesting discussion yesterday with one Rastafarian, and I just wanted to gauge where he is and just let him speak more and ask him what does he think. And he had it was quite far off from what I would normally expect. I'd expect maybe something that's related to Christianity. As we know, Rastafarianism is connected to Christianity, but then he was more closer to a Mayavad philosophy, and how he also doesn't want to also attend church. So I've noticed this is a common thing these days. People don't find faith in the church because there's this negative stigma around religion. And what my understanding was, I shared to him, is like, religion is kind of what encapsulates spirituality in a digestible format for us people that maybe need a society to kind of grow that love for God. You know, we need an institution to kind of regulate ourselves and also grow our spirituality in a regulated way. But I'm not sure. I wasn't satisfied with the answer I gave him. So I just wanted to see if that was off the mark. Like, what is true religion? And yeah.
I think people are now, when you speak to, people out there in the world, people are shifting towards spirituality rather than religion. I think religion, and I'm totally to be corrected here. So, hi, you wanna take this? Okay. Do you mind getting a mic to Sachi, Devi, right at the back? We actually, my first Vrindavan trip was with Sachi Devi. Hi. Yeah, sure.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So I'd just like to share a very nice definition of religion, which is in one of the classes of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, and which was later expanded on by His Holiness, I think it's Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj. So His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj was asked the question, one late night program, and they were so enthusiastic. So somebody asked right at the end of the program, so what is religion and what is spirituality? And Bhakti Charu Swami said that religion is the process that leads you to spirituality. And if you think scientifically, then religion is the methodology and love, Krishna Prem, is the result. And a bona fide religion is that which has the result of Krishna Prem. Hare Krishna.
That so beautifully answered that question.
No, she was perfect, because I was also going to ask what's the difference between religion and spirituality, but she got it right there.
That summed it up pretty well.
So it's possible to also get Krishna Prem in other religions?
Prabhupada said, this process will make you a better Christian, Muslim. It's this process helps us to develop love of God, no matter what religion we may belong to.
Yes.
Because religion is like a school. We may be all from different schools, but we are essentially the spirit soul. And I think we always have to go back to basics. We're not the body, we're the spirit soul. So, yeah. Okay.
Who's Krishna? If you don't know who's Krishna, then you won't be able to develop Krishna Prem. To know Krishna is to love Him, and to love Krishna is to know Him. Therefore, dharma tu shakshat bhagavat pranitam. The religious principles, the real religious principles enunciated by God Himself. And therefore, people will go through the different religions and they will be climbing this ladder, the yoga ladder. And as they sincerely practice, then they will get more and more information. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadhami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantati. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give them the understanding by which they come to me. So, as they develop love and they are practicing within their own religions, they will begin to uncover already what is the essence of religion, which is present in the heart constitutionally. They are all lovers of God, everyone. But as you get further information, then you can develop your aspirations to reuniting with this, the goal of your love. And Srila Prabhupada then called that Bhakti Yoga, developing devotional service to the Supreme. Because even in the Vedic culture, there are those who are more advanced than many other practitioners of religion. Brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. Those who are worshipping Brahman, those who are worshipping the Paramatma. Srila Prabhupada says they are devotees, they are transcendental personalities. As long as they're not envious of the Supreme Lord or antagonistic, then they will come to the platform eventually of Bhagavan iti shabdyate. So it is a process of spiritual evolution. And therefore, for those who are not knowledgeable, then we try to give them Krishna through the books. And if they are very strongly Mayavad or you see, there's Mayavad and there's Brahmavad. So those who are just focusing on the impersonal energy of the Lord without being antagonistic to the idea of God, they are more in the Brahman and they'll make advancement. The Mayavad, they actually vehemently deny that God is a person. They say he can't be, he's an illusion, therefore he's Maya, and that's why they call him Mayavad. So it'll depend, it's very subtle. So the practitioners of all religions, as long as they're not envious and antagonistic to one another, they will progress. So that's why the devotees in Krishna consciousness have come from Jewish backgrounds, Muslim backgrounds, Christian backgrounds. They say that they just become better Christians and better Muslims and better Jews because now they understand the goal of their devotion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. I think we can end here. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you so much for listening to the Krishna book and for your engagement. Thank you, Smita Krishna.